So I've shared a couple server builds on this channel. I showed you guys how to repurpose an old MacBook into a server. I built a tiny desktop server out of a Zima board and an external hard drive, but there's never been any redundancies. Some of you guys shared that concern with me in a previous video of mine, and it always stuck with me where I was like, maybe I should sit down and build a custom server with a RAID setup. So that's what I'm taking you guys along for today. We're gonna hand build a custom made server for my desk. I want it to match the whole aesthetic of the desk. I want it to look good, and I want it to have redundancy. So we're gonna be reusing the 2 hard drives I used in my Mac server build, mainly because I don't really have the budget to spend on bigger hard drives. So we're gonna be reusing those. And the heart of it is gonna be a Zima board 2, which they sent out because they saw a previous video of mine. So you could use, if you're doing this at home, you could use any other computer. You don't have to use it, but this is plenty of power for me, and it's gonna make it a whole lot easier to kind of build around that. So let's head to my dad's shop and get this build started. All right, so we're in my dad's shop, and I wanna show you guys the design I came up with. So the hard drives are gonna be mounted vertically, and I'm gonna weld a 1/4-inch piece of steel into an L, and it's all gonna rest on a wood base that we're gonna cut, prep, stain, clear coat. And then on top of the wood base is gonna be the brains of the operation. This is the Zima board 2. I think there's a great form factor to use for the server. So we might secure it, maybe some double-sided Velcro at the bottom here. I don't know, we'll see. It might just be able to rest on its own. Also, the hard drives are completely open on one side, which doesn't look the best. This side looks okay, but we're gonna make a cover for this side, and we're gonna use the mounting holes that are already there. My dad's friend was nice enough to help me out. He cut and supplied me with the steel, so that's already cut. I gotta weld it, sand it down, finalize it, grind it, clean it up a little bit, and then paint it. Also, throughout the week, I got all the hardware I need, so I think I'm pretty good with all the screws and the bolts and all that stuff, but hopefully I didn't forget anything. There's a lot of work to do. Let's get started. I'm gonna take you guys through this whole process, and hopefully it goes smoothly. I'm thinking we start off with cutting and prepping the wood, so we'll cut it down to length. Then we'll get the holes marked on this, because this is gonna be mounted like that. And then I'm putting inserts so we could use machine screws, because damn hell, they look a lot cleaner. So those are gonna be in there. So to get the holes ready here, to put those in, we need to have these holes drilled out. But before we drill that out, we gotta cut this. It's 6.5 by 3 3/4, and that is gonna fit perfectly. All right, so the wood's all cut. What I need to do now is determine where I'm gonna put my threaded inserts. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill out the holes into the 1/4-inch plate. So I'm thinking one in the center, then one on either side. Then I'm gonna overlap that here, mark the holes out so that it's as close as possible to being where I want it and precise. Obviously, I'm gonna make the hole a little bit bigger so we have some wiggle room, but that should be pretty exact. That should be a good spot. So we basically want the bottom flush. So I'm gonna mark these holes and then drill them out on the wood, put the inserts in, and then we're gonna test fit everything. So before I finalize and drill those holes, I wanna cap the ends of this with some of this wood veneer so that the stain looks a lot better. It's gonna look a lot more complete. So we're gonna do that right now. And there we go, the cap is on, and now it looks a whole lot more consistent. So here it is, dry fit on the wood base, and I think it's gonna turn out really good. This is giving us our first look at the final product. I just need to weld this plate on the top there, keep it flush. But this is giving us our first look, and I think it's gonna turn out really nice. I might need to space it with some washers over here because it doesn't look like it's perfectly squared, but the holes line up, and while I'm drilling all the holes, or while I drilled all these, I might as well drill the holes I need on this and on the plates over there. These plates are actually gonna be the backing plate for the hard drives. All right, I spent a good amount of time making all my templates for all my holes, so this is gonna let me get as precise a fit as possible with a little bit of wiggle room. So I spent a lot of time making these. This is for the side rail there, is going to be drilled off this plate, one there and one there. This one is for the back plate that we're going to be placing on each hard drive. I went with 2 holes as opposed to drilling out all 4 because I think it's going to look a lot better with 2 screws, and it's going to give me a little bit more wiggle room, whereas lining up all 4 of these, that's going to be more of a challenge. So I like the staggered look, so we're going with this. I'm going to go ahead and drill all these holes out on everything, and then we're going to go and weld everything together and finalize it, prep, paint, all that. So this is starting to come together pretty nicely. I think you're getting the idea of what I'm going for. It's going like that. Yeah, that's going to look perfect. All right, let's go weld this up. This is how I'm positioning the piece and how I'm going to keep it squared while I weld it. What I want to do now is actually chamfer the inner edge here so that we get a nice solid weld. All right, so both pieces are nice and ready and prepped for a good weld. I also made sure to obviously ground down a little section to ground the welder because you kind of need that. So these are all ready to weld. I'm going to align them and place them on this magnet, make sure they're all squared. There's a lot of planning and fitment involved in a project like this because you got to make sure everything fits before you do any permanent welds or drills or anything along that line. So just if you're doing something like this at home, make sure everything fits, double check, triple check before you do anything permanent, because then you're just going to have to start from scratch again and you're wasting your time. So take the extra time, make sure it fits, and you'll be a hell of a lot better off. Also, in my case, I'm filming the whole thing, so not only do I have to build the thing, but I got to show myself building the thing and planning out shots and all that, so it's pretty time consuming. So, I mean, some of you are probably going to enjoy this video, so it's worth it. If you really want to see more, a like and a sub would be much appreciated. That's up to you. I hate asking for that kind of stuff. It feels weird asking for that, but if you like it, that means a lot to me. So I spent a good amount of time with the grinder, cleaning up all the welds, making sure everything's flat, the outside, the inside, and then also along the edges to make sure everything's nice and squared. I noticed that there's some spots that are a little bit rough, so I'm thinking of mixing up some body filler and making everything nice and smooth before we hit it with some paint. So while the body filler is curing, I want to prep and finalize this whole base because this is pretty much done. So I'm going to sand this all down, break the corners, all that. And I had a couple stains picked out, but I think the natural kind of beige is going to fit my desk a lot better. So I'm going to keep it like this, sand it all down, and then hit it with some lacquer to seal it all. So the body filler is all fully cured. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to spend a good amount of time sanding it down and making it as smooth as possible because I want a professional looking finish. And the key to that is good preparation. From there, I'm then going to hit it with primer, sand that primer down, making it even smoother, and then we're going to hit it with the final coat of paint. So that's all done. We'll take everything home, assemble it, and then set up the server. I hope it works because I'm making this whole video. It's weeks in the making. It better work. All right, so we got all the stuff. We're ready to assemble it. We got the base, the hardware, hard drives, and then of course the Zima board 2. And these are actually the wires that came with the Zima board 2. So this is how we're going to be hooking up the hard drives to the actual Zima board. So it's all supplied, which makes it a lot easier. Also got these mini rubber washers that are going to help a lot with the vibration from the hard drive. So I'm going to put this in between the metal plate and the hard drive before I screw it on. Now that we're all hooked up, we could set it up in ZimaOS, and this is my first time using ZimaOS, but it should be pretty straightforward. So let's get the IP and log in. Getting the IP was easy since I just used my router's app to check what IP it assigned to the Zima board to. If your router doesn't have an app or you just don't want to use it, you can simply enter a terminal command to check which devices are on your network. So that's another easy way to do it. Setting up the Zima board 2 was pretty straightforward. After creating an admin account, I set up the 2 drives to run in a RAID 1 configuration, so I have some redundancies. At least I'll be able to sleep peacefully knowing my data's safe. If any of you have used CastOS in the past, this interface is going to be right up your alley. You've got access to the App Store where you can get and experiment with a bunch of different services. You got your files where you can get the Samba address to access this network drive from your other computers. You've also got some extras like a native VM app, which is really cool. Probably going to be messing around with that more in the future. But all in all, it's a pretty straightforward interface that's not too hard to understand. One of the coolest things about using the Zima board 2 for this project is the native Zima client app. Not only can you monitor the server and access files directly from the app, but it'll seamlessly and automatically allow you to connect remotely to the Zima board from anywhere, whenever you want. Of course, you can turn that off and just use Tailscale on your own terms if you're concerned about privacy, which I completely get. I think 2026 is the year for home servers. You could even get started with something as simple as an old laptop and install ZimaOS on it, and then just have that kind of familiar dashboard layout. Having a home server allows you to be a little bit more independent and self-sufficient with your data and your services, so you can host whatever services you want. There's a bunch of apps, and then all your data can be backed up to this little home server with redundancies, which is great. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. After all, that was the main point of the video, but there's a lot of work involved in that. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the procedure and kind of just how you get from something in your head to putting it in the material world, because it actually came out exactly how I had it in my head, which is great. Well, that basically wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know in the comments below. Actually, what you shouldn't comment is on my welds. I know anytime you weld something on YouTube, somebody's going to talk about your welds. I don't want to hear it. But let me and everybody else know what services we should self-host, if there's any apps that we should get on our home servers, regardless if we're using ZimaOS or not. What should we self-host? What should we get? What services should we get? Because I'm diving a little deeper into this world, and I know everybody else is probably as well that are watching this video. They're definitely into servers. So let us all know. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next video.